Welcome to RC Truth Media. Now, there was a once famous quote that said, "If you don't know where you have been, then how can you know where you're going?" I also believe if you don't know where you came from, how could you know what you're doing? In order to know what we're doing in this life and what our future holds for us, it is important to know the true history of our planet, of ourselves, and how we got here. Today, I'm going to discuss that a little bit and what I believe is going on. I am majoring in anthropology at Fresno City College, and this is my fourth semester now at the college. Anthropology is a study of human origins, human culture. It's about archaeology, biology. We study humans in all times and places in anthropology. I have been fascinated with our evolution, with how we have supposedly gotten here. Questions. I've had all sorts of questions about what is really gone on. I didn't really quite believe what has been told in schools that we had came from apes. This didn't make sense 100% to me, nor did I believe fully about what the Bible had told us that it just didn't make sense 100%. So I went to study this. I studied different scriptures, um, different canon type scriptures, um, and we're going to talk about that today. Okay, so what I have here for you is Genesis 6. Okay, before Genesis 6 is obviously Genesis 5, and I'm going to discuss what it says in Genesis 5 real fast because a lot of people are Christians, and so was I before I had dug deep into this. Okay, and Jesus himself said, if you want to seek, then you will find. He said, seek, and then you shall find. Knock, and the door will be open. Okay, so I seeked, and I found. So, chapter 5 said, "This book of generations of Adam, in the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. Their name Adam, in the day when they were created." So how could he call one person's name Adam? It says right here he called their name Adam when they were created. Supposedly Adam is just one person, right? So, and in these days they lived a long time. Okay, so we also know, let's go on to talk a little bit more. It says right here, from Adam many generations later, there became Enoch. Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Okay, remember that name, Enoch. We're going to go on here, and many years later there was Noah, Noah, when he was 500, begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now let's talk about the first civilization on Earth that we are told to us in our history books, the Sumerians. We're told that Sumerians sprang up from nowhere, and they were a full-blown civilization with math, astrology, science, all kind of agriculture. They had everything right from the beginning. Now, how could this happen? I found something pretty good. It talks about Anunnaki in the Bible, and I wanted to show it with you guys. The most widely read book in all of history, the Bible, has pushed the faith of billions of people and has shaped the very world that we live in. But what if there was something that was not drastically clear in the way that people decipher the Bible? What we're going to discuss is the Anunnaki in the Bible. Okay, the Anunnaki are the ones talked about in the Sumerian tablets, and that's the first civilization supposedly given to us in our history books in Sumer. They lived in the Middle East over there in Sumer, and the Anunnaki is a phrase that has been made famous by Zecharia Sitchin, found with many of his famous books. Sitchin explores ancient mythology, megalithic structures around the world, and various books to demonstrate that an extraterrestrial race visited the planet. What's interesting is that these were the gods found within the Sumerian tablets. The Anunnaki were actual deities, and their names come from the old god of the sky, Anu. But when you look deeper into the Sumerian tablets, you start to notice that there is a stark comparative relationship between the Bible and what these ancient cultures believed in. That's right. I mean, these stories are dead on from the beginning of Adam and Eve to Noah to the names Shem, Ham, and Japheth to the boat of Noah to where he landed at on Mount Ararat to the amount number of angels that came down on Mount Ararat to just all of the stories in the Old Testament. Okay, Sumerian tablets were written by the Sumerians. This is a society that invented writing and had advanced knowledge of mathematics, science, and astronomy. According to these tablets, the Anunnaki were angels. These were people that were technologically advanced and actually lived on the earth around 8,200 BC in the Middle East. Ninlil and Enlil were at the center of the stories. Ninlil was the goddess that ruled over the land, and Enlil was her husband. The god of war, Ninurta, was the son of Enlil and Ninlil. These gods are very similar to the gods you would know from the ancient Greece and Rome. And this is the first time that we hear about the Garden of Eden. This is the same Eden that we know from the Bible. Within the Sumerian tablets, Ninmul asked the Council of Seven to create what is called Eden. This is a heavenly garden. The Anunnaki were also tied to the Watchers, which are found in the book of Enoch. Not surprisingly, the Watchers were in charge of watching over Eden. The book of Enoch. It's a book that is an ancient Jewish religious work. The book of Enoch is the tradition of Enoch and is closely tied to Noah. As you already know, Noah was in charge of saving all the world's animals, and it was his great grandfather who wrote the Book of Enoch. Much like the Bible, the Book of Enoch is really a series of different books. Inside the book, you'll find the following: the Book of Watchers, Book of Parables, the Astronomical Book, the Dream Visions, the Epistles of Enoch. This is a very important read if you want to dive deeper into religious texts. That's right. I actually read this book myself. Not just this one, many other ones, and it is a very important book to read. Now, the reason that we're talking about this is because of the Watchers, the Nephilim, then the Bane of Angels. Okay, the Nephilim are half human and half Anunnaki. The Anunnaki were the ones that created the humans, and they came down and created humans to become a slave race to help them dig for gold. They had created half human and half Anunnaki race, which is called the Nephilim, which is in the Bible. Okay, talking about the giants. And that this is the same Nephilim that's in the Bible. The Watchers felt that it actually talked about right here. The Watchers fell to earth and are our form of angels who fathered the Nephilim. What is interesting is that many of the names found within this text correlate directly to the Bible: Azazel, Raphael, Gabriel. And while the book is not considered part of the Bible, many believe that it is one of the texts that does hold religious significance. There are many such books to have not made into the Bible that you and I know today. Why is this? It could be that these texts go against what the church has been telling us for centuries. What we've seen so far is that these two ancient texts seem to meld into each other perfectly. That's right. It goes even deeper than that with the Anunnaki. The scripture that is of the main importance is Genesis 5:18. Within this text you'll find Enoch, who fathered Methuselah, who fathered Lamech, who fathered Noah. This is within the Holy Bible and directly correlates within two texts, the Book of Enoch and the Sumerian tablets. Interestingly, the Anunnaki, fallen angels, would mix with the indigenous people as stated within the Book of Enoch as well. Where do giants fit into all of this? Well, the Anunnaki began to mingle with the indigenous people, and this union led to the hybrid race that were called giants, or the Nephilim. The giants can be found in chapter 7 of the book of Enoch. The exact word is, "And the women conceiving brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits." The book of Enoch is not the Bible, but the Bible does talk about giants. You'll find giants in the Bible also within Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same became mighty men, which were men of old, men of renown. Okay. right here. But keep in mind that has occurred before the Great Flood. You'll also find in Deuteronomy, the Emims dwelt there in times of a past, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims, which also were accounted giants as the Anakims, but Moabites called them Emims. Keep in mind that this occurs after the Great Flood, meaning that these giants must have roamed the earth even after the flood occurred. There are several occurrences of giants in Deuteronomy which you can find. Joshua also mentions giants, and Joshua answered them, If thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country, and cut down for thyself there in the land, and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow. It talks about many more scriptures correlating to giants, and you could go and check that out if you'd like. However, right now I'm going to show you guys some megaliths, because a lot of people don't believe the stories that are in the Bible, but let's look into some actual proof that I could show you. This comes from megaliths.org. If there were no giants, then who made all the megalithic structures all over the world? Okay, now we do have radiocarbon dating. We can radiocarbon date things all the way back to at least a couple thousand years. There is, or I'm sorry, way more than that. Radiocarbon dating goes way further back than that. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. So why? What proof do we have? Well, all of the megaliths, of course, and let's go show you a couple of megaliths that I really like. Okay, do you see these structures right here? The gigantic wall, stunning, 30 meters long. What about Baalbek in Lebanon? Okay, these square blocks here. Now, can people do this right here and move these bricks way back then, thousands of years ago, and before the wheel was even invented? Obviously, there had to be some advanced civilization that was here making these structures all over the world. How about this one in Syria? This is where the Anunnaki were. Okay, it seems like parts belong to massive megaliths that have been restored in historic times. Official history, highly questionable. Nimrod Castle. Oh yes, this is the Nimrod Castle on the southern slopes of Mount Hermon. Okay, the area is under Israel administration. Uh, Look at this megalith right here, and look at the way it was put together. So much symmetry. This absolutely is fascinating. Check out, look at the size of these compared to the humans there. I mean, these things are just huge. Massive weight. And this is way back when. So, are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Look at this. So, who put this stuff here with no wheel? Obviously there's questions that aren't answered in our history books that we're told in our schools. So look, the truth, if you want the truth, you need to go out and seek it, because you're not going to be giving it to us in our schools. That's for sure. Go onto this site, megaliths.org, and check it out. If you want to check out the Sumerian tablets, you can look at the Lost Book of Enki by Zachariah Sitchin, or I have a video myself that I talk about. I do a short story because Zachariah Sitchin takes a long time to read, maybe a few days, and they're all day. For 3 days it took me to read, and that was somebody reading it to me. So if you want to read a shorter version, I actually have a video that I have made, and you can check it out, and it's called The Sumerian Genesis by Ricky Cadenhead. Check it out. I hope you guys like the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, you could donate to my page, or I'm sorry, you could donate to me at paypal.me/Ricky Cadenhead. Thank you very much, and I will have some more videos coming out soon. You guys have a great day.